Trevin Wallace out of Kentucky. He's the 15th linebacker on the PFF big board, but he had an excellent showing at the combine, ran a 4.51 40 time, which was 93rd percentile for his position. He did that at 240 pounds as well. Had a 127 broad jump, which was 92nd percentile. Like, he's not huge, but he's thick and athletic, and I think there's potential here for him in the NFL. And I know he didn't grade particularly well in our system, like as a run defender or at all, really. But I'm still glad you brought up his name, especially coming off that impressive showing at the combine, because I think a lot of that athleticism does show up on tape, and you can see the upside with him if he can clean up his game, basically, right? He's great at getting around blockers with speed and quickness, and does a great job putting himself in position to make a play in the same way, when he maybe doesn't necessarily have any business to be in that position, right? He's able to make those plays, if that makes sense. What his game kind of reminded me of really is Devin White in the NFL, in that all the high-end highlight plays are exciting and make a huge difference on a smaller scale, but his larger sample of play, he plays with that same level, of explosiveness and athleticism that also puts him, way out of position more on some plays, kind of like a Cedric Gray I found as well, right? So So there's like a lot of like his negative plays on tape come after an initial positive as well, where he does an exceptional job either shedding a block or getting to his gap quickly, but then after that it's kind of hit or miss on whether he'll be able to make a play, because he's another one of those guys that I think can overshoot his target by a lot or blow up a running back in the backfield. It's a pretty jarring contrast a lot of the time from like play to play. But again, I don't mind the aggressiveness and betting on those traits, because even at times when he misses tackles, falls to the ground, he bounces back up and gets himself back in the play so quickly that like he can recover and still make positive plays there. So I'll take that over, just being like a big lug out there that struggles to get off blocks and even be close to making those plays. So, we just talked about, worthy NFL prospects all kind of being able to blitz relatively well. And Wallace is a plus in that regard as well, because the dude can get on his horse and go attack the quarterback. He's slipping between offensive linemen, he overpowering running backs or leaping over those chop blocking running backs, and then finishing the play by wrapping up for sacks. But, yeah, what else? I got a lot on Wallace. I kind of came away liking him. Like, he had some fine plays in coverage where he breaks on the ball, limits the yak opportunity, which is really probably the most we can ask for most linebackers. The problem with him, I notice, is that he's often kind of late to recognize when receivers have entered his zone. So that can allow some of those easy completions. But again, the nice thing is that he's got that quickness and agility to recover immediately and still make a play most of the time, or at least get back close to the play. And I feel like I can make, like, after watching him, I felt like I could make like a pretty nice collage of like screenshots comparing the times where the moment is very clear that he blew the coverage and how far he was from the ball carrier, to where the ball, or like to where the play ended, and it's either him tackling the ball carrier still or within at least a yard of them when they're tackled by someone else. So that play recognition, sure, it's an issue, but I think something that'll come with experience as well. And he's just had that, the one full season as a starter in college. So probably not an NFL ready prospect by any means, but a nice project player that I'd be willing to take a shot on for NFL teams. And if he ever gets a starting job, then I'd be excited about his IDP potential as well.
Yeah, I came away with pretty much in line with what you're seeing there too, John. I mean, you watch his tape, his athleticism pops right away. For sure. And then he goes to the combine, absolutely showed out. 4.51 40, 37.5-inch vert, 10 foot 7-inch broad jump. So like those explosion numbers are excellent, and you can see it on tape. He looked crazy athletic on tape, and he showed it in Indianapolis in front of everybody. He's just like the traits are there, man. For everything else that the one of the biggest knocks I had were his eyes. They just inconsistent, right? Like you said, inconsistent with his reads and in coverage, but like the athleticism to make up for it and still make plays. You're like, holy shit, how did he get there? Like you said, gets up off the ground and still tracks him down. He's just got those traits that you either got him or you don't, and that dude can cover the field. I mean, just serious range. I thought he's at his best, kept clean, running around, just blowing stuff up. I like you made the Devin White reference with him, right? Was it him?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or did I already forget? That when you said that, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like the fun Devin White was kind of the same, like running around doing stuff. I think he's got all the tools to be a 3-down guy. Just needs patience and development. Like he's got a lot of things to like, but like you said, the eyes, the reads, inconsistent. Something he can work on. You mentioned he's only been a 1-year starter, so not surprised that he's inconsistent in that area too. So he'll get some high level coaching. I can be a little hesitant. It goes along with the eyes, and it's like you talked about all these guys, they all can struggle getting driven off on blocks. Sure. I thought he can get washed out too. He's pretty thickly built, so he's got some. He's got some power behind him there to figure it out with some technique. I thought he could. He's one of those guys too. I think he could get a little bit better slipping blocks and like anticipating them too. I think he could be a weapon there if he can figure that part of his game up. If he could slip blocks like Jeremiah Trotter, he could really mess some things up. He's got he's got the means to figure that out. Developmental guy would take time, but traits are exciting. So.
They are, yeah. And he had a 9.54 RAS score as well, right? Like again, that athleticism, just it's a major plus for him. But I'm kind of buying into his potential and upside at the NFL level. Like he definitely needs more coaching and experience to kind of refine his game, right? But I think like he has that potential to be like a legitimate 3-down linebacker at some point, and could be a really fun NFL player. And a similar, Kentucky combine riser, right, to a guy a couple of years ago in Jamin Davis, right? So I think,
yes, absolutely.
He seems to be drawing a little bit more interest around the NFL as well. So we'll see where he ends up going in the draft. But I love that you brought up this name so I could watch him, because I came away watching him and feeling excited about him, like a very fun player to watch. And I mentioned that I'd have somebody going to the Green Bay Packers, and this was the guy that I put there. Like I think about this kind of sexy linebacker pairing of Quaker and Trevin Wallace. Now it doesn't have to be year one, right? Like I think, like we said, Isaiah McDuffie's he's earned a chance to be the starter. Just the amount of times that he did a solid job filling in for either Walker or Campbell last year, but. Yeah. McDuffie also, an undersized guy, 6th round pick, graded okay at best, in 2023. So good chance he's not the long-term starter there. It gives somebody like a Trevin Wallace some time to acclimate to the NFL as well, and then potentially unleash him in year 2. So that's where I had him. Where'd you got him going?
I just want to say I do like that fit, and because I think that's a really nice scenario. Because I think McDuffie has familiarity with Hafley. I thought he played okay for a smaller linebacker last year. Yeah, I'm not getting a whole Packer thing again, but but no, that'd be fun because he could sit back and learn and let him and Quay that be an athletic duo. Man, that's a really I really dig that. I picked Tennessee. Nice. They brought in Kenneth Murray. Jack Gibbons is there. We know what Jack Gibbons is. The depth chart's pretty wide open. I don't. Maybe Tennessee's a team. If they were to draft him wherever he falls, maybe early day 3, whatever, take a shot. And if they're not looking so hot, they throw him out there at the end of the year and let him run around and do some cool stuff, and or just let him develop and learn and on to year 2 to see if he can figure it out. But they got a new defensive coordinator, and I thought maybe he grabs a guy he thinks he can mold, and he comes from Denard Wilson came from Baltimore, I believe. So, he might want to find a guy he could develop. So,
no, I'm with you. I love that. Love that spot there.